Well, hello everyone. Happy November. Can't believe it's November already, but I have one last alternative to share with you for the Home for the Holidays kit that was issued for October 2023. So before I get started, let me share a little information for you. So I finally got my add-ons in, and as you can see, these are good size cards. They're 7, and when you fold them, they'll be 5. But I can show you here in this envelope that I have cut them in half so that you can get actually 2 fronts out of them. So you can either make these large cards or you could cut them down to our usual A2 cards. Your choice, but I like this size because if you like to share a photo in your Christmas cards, you could easily put a 4x6 photo into these cards. And by the way, these things, if you're new to my channel, are a part of what I call my favorite things. And my favorite things are items that Stampin' Up! Does not sell, that I like to use in my craft room to help organize. So this is a 5x7 size. And then this is a nice size. They're about almost 10 by, 7. And I really like these sizes because they hold all the components for the kit, including the instruction manual. So if you have any leftover parts that you need to complete your kits with, you can easily store these in here. They also fit Memories and More cards and envelopes as well. And here's the gold cards and envelopes that I have stored in here. As well as I go ahead and pre-cut a lot of card bases. Those are my vanilla and white in these. So I have those ready to go real close to my workstation. So those are just some items you may want to get. And by the way, I am an Amazon affiliate. So the links I provide in the detailed description below are safe. And when you use those links to purchase any of these items, I get a few pennies back, and so it really helps support my business. So thank you for those who have used it, and if you consider getting these items, thank you in advance for using those. Okay, so let's get started with the alternate. Now this alternate I shared on my blog as part of the Paper Pumpkin Possibilities blog hop, and so I wanted to actually make one with you today. So you're going to need a white card base, which I already have ready. And you're going to need the house front card, this one. Now, if you followed all of my alternates, I want to say I counted 34 cards you could get from this kit. And I was really surprised because when I first opened it up, I was like, oh boy, this one may not make as many cards as I usually make. But if you like to send out Christmas cards and homemade ones, then this one kit would get you 34. And by the way, the refills for these kits are still available. The refill item number is 163969, and the cards and envelopes that I just showed are also still available. Last I looked, that item number is 163985. Now, I went ahead and purchased a refill box because they did say the November box will coordinate with it. And when I first started doing alternates, I said, you know, some of you may want to wait and see what comes in the November and then mix all the components together and come up with something new as well. So I went ahead and got a refill for that. And what a refill is, it's everything in the kit, including the glitter glue, which I don't know what I did with mine. It's in the box as well, just no stamp set or ink spot. So that's my details on that. So anyway, you're going to want one of these cards, and you're going to want to cut off this side, and you can use this side for the next part we're going to do, and then we're going to trim it here. So what you're going to want to do, and I've already done some pre-stamping on this to save time. So you're going to want to take the little snowflake stamp that came in our kit and go stamp around a piece of white cardstock, or you can use this side of the envelope that we're not going to use. And this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so a whole card front size. So just go around that in Night of Navy ink. And then we're going to put that on our card base. It will go here. However, if you have the Snowflake Sky embossing folder, this shows one that I use the embossing folder on. And so that's what I'm going to put on the card front. But I wanted to show you, not much of this shows, and I wanted to show you just if you didn't have that embossing folder, you could do it plain. So I'm going to get out my Tombow multi-purpose glue, and I have it in this fine tip glue bottle. And I'm just going to attach this to the front. So I believe this uses all the supplies in the kit. I may have a couple trees left that I can go and add to my other cards, the tree die cuts that came in the kit. So when I do a whole card front, I kind of put the liquid glue on here, tap on the sides to make sure it's square. And so again, this one is going to be a vertical card, so you want to kind of look at your embossing folder, and I kind of did it where more snow builds as it falls, so I put the more specks at the bottom. Okay, the next thing you're going to want to get are your contour dies. Scallop contour, yes. And I love these dies. It really adds a lot of detail. You have many different sizes. Now, when these first came out, they were a bundle with the color and contour stamp set. However, if you're not interested in that stamp set, just know that there's only 2 dies in here that would be extra. So it's still a great value with all the different scallops as well as this border die that fell off. And one tip that I do is I write how many dies are here, so that when I go to put them up, I can count easily and make sure I have them all there. Okay, and I usually do a whole magnet sheet, kind of like I did in these Nested Essentials. This one I just had some scraps left over. And these magnets are nice and strong. They're also part of my favorite things, and so they hold them in there. And I like to store them in the same sleeve that they come in from Stampin' Up. So I do put a larger label there, so I'm not having to flip over constantly, and I like to let those show. Now, I never tend to close that. It's kind of tough to get those in there. I just fold it over and store them straight up, so that's not a problem for me. Okay, so you want to get the scallop contour die, and you're going to use the largest one. And this is the largest one right here. Okay, so you're going to want to cut one of those. Now, I did have to cheat and bring in some retired merchandise. Now, if you don't have the next step, you could easily just make the card like this, covering it up. But I did have these stitched rectangle dies, and I have 2 here. And I cut the center out of that. Now, you could either use the decal dies, or you could just use your trimmer and cut that out. And I have the dimension of that I've put on my blog post. So if you're going to do this, cut out exactly this, it's about 4 3/8 by 3 inches. So that's what you're going to need for the next part. All right, so I'm going to put dimensionals on these because I want it to look more like a window frame. Let me get out my box of dimensionals. Okay, and these, you could either use the small, or if you're like me and you cut these in half, the half part works perfectly to go on this frame. Now I want to put quite a few around there. I probably should have done this ahead of time, so all I had to do was peel off the backings. So bear with me as we put all of these on. So, by the way, while I'm putting these on, it's not too late to get in on the November kit. The deadline for it is November 10th, and they've said it will not be cards. However, if you know me, I can generally turn them into cards. Last year, I turned some into gift boxes, tags, all kinds of things. So don't always steer away just because it's not cards. As you know, in the with Love and Gratitude, the September kit, those were smaller cards, and I turn those into full-size A2 cards. I'm still working on trying to use all those supplies. Actually, while the football game was going on this morning, I worked on using some more of those supplies. I like to get them all done so that I stay up to date, but that one had so many supplies I could use. I'm still trying to use them up. Okay, so like I said, lots of dimensionals. Now, if you had the strips, those would work as well too and be a little easier. But they are a little bit higher than the dimensionals, just so you know. And by the way, this could easily make a shaker card. If you are a shaker card fan, you could put a piece of acetate attached to that before, and then you would definitely want to use the strips, adhesive sheets. They come like this, a whole big strip. You could easily turn this into a shaker card. Alright, almost have them all off. And you can go ahead and do this step next because it's pretty easy just to eyeball it and put it in the center. Okay, so I have that in the center. And without getting my hair in, I'm going to try to center this on the card. Okay, so there we go. Alright, so now we have our card fronts. Now I have several that I've cut already, and I'm going to tell you the dimensions of this. So this is the third largest stitch rectangle die, which I gave you the measurements before. And then this is cut just a hair shorter so that the stitching barely shows. And again, if you don't have these, you could easily just do a white border, and you could actually even do it a little bigger because that's going to cover it up. But you cut the card base to, and I'm going to measure it here on my grid sheet, 4 1/4 by 3, and I think this one got into the 16ths. I'm sorry, 2 and this one's a little bigger than 7/8, so I don't even know if it's a whole millimeter. So anyway, you can just kind of trim that up until when you line this up, it shows just the stitching just a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to adhere this to that. All right. And then I love the Tombow glue because I can move it around for a second to make sure it's all there. So that I got from this card base. Okay, now the fun part is slipping it in here. And again, you're going to want to use Tombow multi-purpose glue, probably. I'm not, I guess either the strips or the tape runner would work. But I like to do this so that I have some wiggle room. Now it is going to fit right in there. Okay, so you want to poke it through. Oh, and that did really well. So I had to move the other one. So there is our scene. Now let me go ahead and bring in a finished card right here. So this one I did go in with the glitter glue. Now I want to share my technique again with these glimmer paper. So since it made so many cards, I wanted to stretch these as much as possible. Now this one I used the ends, and I can see that one's just a little shorter, which I probably would have cut that one shorter, but I'm going to leave that like it is. And here's what I did. I took a ruler, and I used my grid sheets, and then I lined that up between the inch marks and this up, and then I got a pencil. Here's one. Sorry for reaching. And I just drew a line, and then I moved it to the quarter mark, and then this quarter mark. Now these end up really small. You could probably do it into thirds, if you wanted to have a little more room to work. And so then I just took my scissors. Now on glimmer paper, I didn't want to use my good paper snips, so I just brought in some old scissors that I had, and I cut these into 4 strips. Okay, so now I'm getting at least 2 per strip. All right, and so I don't think it really matters what size. So I already have stamped a Merry Christmas banner. And by the way, it's very easy to make additional banners. Now when you go to put these on, you're going to want to use tear and tape. One, because the glitter doesn't take to liquid glue, I don't find very well. And I'm going to put it on the top and bottom. That one was a little short. Okay, and then I'm going to tear these off. And then I'm just going to pick up one banner with it. So it's probably hard to see here on my white. You know what? Let me get here, I have an extra magnet sheet here. That'll be something black to show against it. All right, and then I'm just going to pick it up. I'm going to put that one a little further to the right. Okay, and then I'm going to take another one, make sure it's going the same direction to look like a full banner, and pick it up. Whoops. Well, goodness. Maybe I didn't get the tape close enough to the center. Okay, now I've glued it to the magnet sheet. Alright, so again, if you're saving, it's a little fussy, but it does work. So now that I have them on there, I go ahead and take some more tear and tape and put over the top so they don't come off. So just right over the back. Okay, so now they won't come off, and you have your adhesive to put it on your card. Now, as you saw, this is already on dimensionals, and it's going to be okay just to, excuse me, set it on the card like that. I may go in, you know what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to support it with part of a dimensional under there. That's a corner. Let me do a half, which I need to cut some more. Halves. Okay, I'm going to put one kind of in the center to support it. And then it needs one down here. It's going to stick to the card because of the tear and tape that's on the bottom holding the glimmer paper in. It's stuck on my finger now. Okay, so put 2 before you stick it on there, and it'll be easier for you. Okay, that's better. All right, so that is my card. This is my 4th alternative, and like I said, you can make 4 of these. So if you've done all my cards, let me get my box real quick. So you have 4 like that, 4 like this that I have a video on, 4 like this one. So that's 12. Now with this card base, you can make 8. So that's 20. And then, yes, this one makes 24. And then the, excuse me, the 10 envelopes gives you 34. So anyway, if you've missed any of those videos, they are on my YouTube channel. Just click on videos, and you will find all my videos for not only this paper pumpkin kit, but others in the past. So, of course, I will go in and add the glitter glue here. You know what, I can grab one out of my refill. Excuse me. Sorry, I don't know what happened to my other bottle. But this will show you what a refill looks like. I did combine them into one, so that's why I have two. So I actually got two. And you get glitter glue as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Like I said, I think the only thing I have left are some trees. And I may see what those trees look like on here. I like doing the windowsill as well for the snow. And that one I did the sides and the top. So let's go ahead and do that. Now I will have to set this card aside when I do my summary because that would mess all over. And if you miss a spot, you can still just kind of glide it along and get it where you want it to. So there is the glitter glue. I'm going to put this one back in the refill box. It doesn't feel like it's screwing on straight. There we go. Okay, so by the way, this box will make a nice gift-giving opportunity as well. You could even cover this up with like a nice Christmas label that, who knows, maybe we'll make one in the next paper pumpkin kit. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And by the way, here is my new host code for November. If you do not have a demonstrator and you would like to purchase any of these products, I would appreciate your support by using this host code. Any merchandise total of $75 or more, you will receive a gift from me. So thanks for joining me today. Please like and share this video. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button below. And I don't think I thanked those of my already existing subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. And I hope I've given you some inspiration to expand your October 2023 paper pumpkin kit. Until my next video, which will be probably my Oh Holy Night card that I've been waiting on, I will say goodbye for now. Bye-bye.